Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Stewart Stadium here on the campus of Weber State University in Ogden for the 66th annual Iron Horse game between the Ben Lomond Scots and the Ogden High Tigers. Good evening, everybody. Welcome inside. I'm Brandon Garside alongside Standard Examiner high school sports reporter Patrick Carr, here to bring you the action. Patrick, let's first talk about what these teams have done so far this season. Let's start with the Scots. Things have been kind of rough for them, winless on the year, but they've been in some tight games.
Yeah, they have indeed. The Scots are 0-8 right now, 0-4 in Region 12, but they really should have a win under their belt. Last week at home, they were up 28-21 in the fourth quarter against the top team in the region, Stansbury, with a really vaunted triple option running attack. Stansbury scored 2 late touchdowns and really kind of escaped Ben Lomond with a win. And in talking to some of the Ben Lomond players and coaches, that's really fueled Ben Lomond this week. Not only is it a rivalry week, but Ben Lomond really wants to get in the win column, and they think they really deserved a win last week against Stansbury. But like you said, they're in games early, especially early, and then after that it kind of goes off the rails a little bit.
Now, taking a look at Ogden High, a lot on the line tonight. If they win, they will clinch the 3 seed and, more importantly, avoid Orem in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, so Ogden started this year 3-0. The offense really got going early, and they're 2-2 in Region 11 with wins over Tooele and Bonneville. They lost to Park City and Stansbury, but like you're just saying, the goal in Region 11 this year was to either win the region title or just avoid Orem in the first round. And it looks like Ogden, if they win this game tonight, they will be 3-2, and they will get the 3 seed, which would probably mean they'll play at Spanish Fork in the first round of the playoffs in a couple weeks. Obviously still, a lot more to be said about that, a lot more football to be played, but really breakout season for Ogden. They had that huge winning streak that ended last year. They won the Iron Horse here last year really dramatically. They won 3 games last year. They got 5 wins already this year. They could potentially have as many as 7 at the end of the regular season.
Now, in a rivalry game, you never know exactly what's going to happen. Obviously, the two teams have had 2 very different seasons, but as we mentioned, Ben Lomond has been in a couple of games, just fallen short. How do you see tonight's matchup playing out?
Well, first of all, both teams are really fast, and they got fast kids all over the field. Ogden, obviously, you have Irving Gastelum at wide receiver, Chase Butler and Riley Hansen at running back. Ben Lomond, you have Xander Kaffel at running back, or Kaffel, excuse me, at running Kaffel. Kaffel, a running back, and Nicholas Guzman, a quarterback. Ty Esquivel, Trey Pearson, a wide receiver. There's some fast kids on the field. Here's the other thing with both Ogden and Ben Lomond is both teams are carrying about 30 to 40 players. Depth is at a premium. A lot of kids play 2 ways. So if there's any injuries, that is not good news for either team.
Great. And now, as you kind of look at each team, what needs to happen for them to be successful, both Ben Lomond and Ogden?
Well, first for Ogden, a real hallmark for them this season is getting their skill guys in space. You're going to see a lot of screen passes from Ogden, either wide receiver screens to Irving Gastelum or screens out of the backfield to both Butler and Hansen. Those are their 3 main skill guys. They like to get them in space, like to get a lot of yards after the catch, and there's so much big play potential in Ogden. For Ben Lomond, that has to be a point of focus because you got 3 major weapons on the Ogden offense. If Ben Lomond can prevent some of those screens from going 10, 12 yards every time and maybe keep them just going 1 yard or 2 yards, maybe tackle them for loss, that's going to be huge, obviously, because it gives Ogden either second and short or second and long, third and long instead of second and third and short. For Ben Lomond on the other side, you're going to see a lot of read option. Nicholas Guzman is a really fast dual-threat quarterback, and so he's going to keep it or he's going to give it to Xander Kaffel, going left or going right, going up the middle. You're also going to see a lot of quick passes, either out of the shotgun or from under center. Quick passes, quick slants in the slot. That's something you're going to see a lot from Ben Lomond, and I think for Ogden, just getting pressure and staying home, too. Staying home on Guzman because he will hurt you if you give him space.
Thanks as always, Patrick. If you want more information from Patrick Carr, obviously he is a well of knowledge. Where can they follow you on Twitter?
At Patrick Carr _. There's an underscore. PATRICKCARR _.
He'll be live tweeting throughout the game. Be sure to check that out. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you the kickoff of the 66th annual Iron Horse right here on Standard.net. Welcome back here inside Stewart Stadium on the campus of Weber State University for the 66th Iron Horse game. Ogden wins the coin flip to start the game and will receive to start things off. Ogden again playing with a lot on the line here. If they win, they clinch the 3rd seed in Region 11 and will look to avoid playing Orem in the first round of the playoffs. So with that said, we'll get things underway here. Giovanni Martinez, kicker for Ben Lomond, will tee it up, and we'll get things underway here on Standard.net. Couple of receivers for the kickback for Ben Lomond, Irving Gastelum and Jeff Orris. Ben Lomond definitely going to try to avoid Gastelum on this one. And they do. They'll get it to Orris, and they'll just let that go actually in the back of the end zone. Maybe it looked like there was kind of a miscommunication there, but regardless, Ogden will start this drive at the 20. Ogden known for their solid offense. And it starts with Irving Gastelum. Or I'm sorry, it starts with quarterback Bo DeVries. 59.6 completion rate for 1,888 yards so far this season. He's had 17 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. DeVries with the handoff. And getting some yardage and keep fighting on that left side. Staying in bounds is Riley Hansen. And that'll be enough for a first down and then some to get the Tigers to the 37-yard line. It's definitely how you want to start the game out, establish a run. And Hansen doing the job for the Tigers here early. DeVries in the gun with Hansen behind him in the backfield. Or I'm sorry, under center. DeVries, quick handoff up the middle. And just short of the first down was Chase Butler. Butler with 7 touchdowns on the season. He might be their best overall player, according to our sports reporter, Patrick Carr. Explosive, as you can see right there. 2nd and 1 for the Tigers in this opening drive of the 66th Iron Horse game. DeVries this time in the gun. Hansen with him in the backfield. He'll go back to pass. And what a catch there on the right side by Irving Gastelum. And he's knocked out a play there on the Ben Lomond 17, 1st and 10 Tigers. DeVries with a perfect pass on that one. And a great catch by Gastelum to put the Tigers in scoring position, red zone. DeVries in the gun, looking to put the Tigers on the board and draw first blood here. DeVries hands it off to Hansen. Hansen, plenty of room, but we've got a flag on the play as DeVries gets into the end zone for the score. However, that may be coming back as there was a quick flag in the backfield. Maybe a hold here against Ogden would be my guess. The officials talking it over. And they're taking away the flag. Touchdown, Ogden. 17-yard touchdown from Riley Hansen puts the Tigers up 6-0 here early. Quick opening drive from Ogden. Barely took any time off the clock, really. 80 yards, 4 plays, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, we don't have stats in front of us to to kind of give a definitive yes or no, but here's the point after. And it's good, and Ogden takes a quick 7-0 lead. If you're Ogden, that's definitely how you want to start the game, with so much on the line and wanting to put yourself in a good position in the playoffs. Starting out early and trying to get Ben Lomond put away as soon as you can is your best way of doing just that. But as we said at the top of the broadcast with Patrick, in these rivalry games, these crosstown rivalry matches, you never know what can happen. Ben Lomond on currently the longest losing streak in the state of Utah. But you throw all that out the window when you come to play. You saw the energy from Ben Lomond as they took the field, getting their side riled up. And again, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, they are definitely a capable team. We've seen that from them this season. But obviously the Tigers have had a much better year, and I will be looking forward to the playoffs regardless of the outcome of this game. Trey Pearson will receive the kick for Ben Lomond. They do an onside kick, and Ogden recovers. Nobody was in position on Ben Lomond's side, and Ogden easily recovers the onside kick, and they will have it at the Ben Lomond 49-yard line, but the officials are talking it over. Maybe discussing if the ball was touched before it went the distance of 10 yards, but there's really no way to review it. And they're going to say that Ogden touched the ball before it went the 10 yards, and so the Scots will have great field position in Ogden territory. So they said the ball was touched 9 yards before it crossed the 50-yard line. Touched 9 yards after the kick is what I meant to say. And so Ben Lomond finds themselves in good field position despite being caught off guard, and got an opportunity to answer here. Quick play action to run out the side. He's got some room. Stays on his feet and finally brought down after a 4-yard gain. Guzman on the carry for Ben Lomond. Guzman in the gun. He'll keep it. Staying on his feet. He gets a gain of about 3 this time. That'll bring up 3rd and 3 for the Scots. On the Ogden 42. Guzman has trips left. 1 to the right. He'll hand it off, and easily getting the first down and then some. Up the middle is Xander Kaffel. Kaffel, excuse me. The leading running back for the Scots this season. First and 10 for the Scots on the 37. Guzman sweeps it left to Kaffel. Kaffel getting some yardage on that one, and will it be enough for the first down? They will say it is. First and 10 Scots on the Tiger 21. Guzman Two receivers on each side. He'll keep it, fakes the handoff to Kaffel, and he will be brought down for a very short gain on the play of 1, bringing up 2nd and 9. Big play here. Kaffel, this time on the sweep, doesn't get as many yards as he got on the first time they ran that play tonight. So a 3rd and long situation for the Scots. Third and 6 for Ben Lomond as they try to take advantage of for them, the fortunate mishap by Ogden on the onside kick that gave him the ball on the Tiger 49. Guzman keeps it. Can't get the yardage, though. Depending on the spot, it's going to be close. But I believe it'll be short. They may bring out the sticks on this one. They are going to say that they would like to measure this one. So a very, very close spot by the officials, but I believe it's going to be short. And joining us now, sports editor for the Standard Examiner, Brett Hine. Brett, welcome into the broadcast, and thanks for being my sideman today.
Good to be here. Just trying to work out some technical bugs. If we've had to maybe redirect some viewers to a different link to see the game, but we are up and running, so we're hoping you're with us. As we await to see if Ben Lomond has this 3rd down conversion or not.
Here comes the measurement. It looks like it's going to be so close. We're going to have to wait to see. It will be 4th and an inch for Ben Lomond. That was incredibly close.
From up here, I couldn't even tell where the space was, but obviously they're standing right next to it.
Right.
So Ben Lomond with a big 4th down opportunity here.
No negative yards so far for the Scots. So they may try to go for it. And they are going for it, obviously. Guzman in the gun. He's got 2 receivers on each side, but they're kind of loading the box here. They're figuring that it's going to go to either Kaffel or Guzman on this play. And Kaffel falls down for a loss. If he would have held his feet on that one, he probably would have gotten through.
That's a rough break for Ben Lomond. They moving the ball pretty well, and that's about the only thing that might stop a running play with a couple inches necessary.
Yeah, there on the replay, you saw that he just kind of lost his footing as he was trying to cut it back the other way. Very unfortunate, especially after taking advantage of the onside kick.
So as Ogden sets up for its 2nd possession here, I just want to say that the 2018 Iron Horse live stream is brought to you by Tony DeVino Toyota. Celebrating 30 years of family-owned business, shop Tony DeVino Toyota at 777 West Riverdale Road and at TonyDeVinoToyota.com.
Hansen gets caught in the backfield for a loss of 3 on that play, so the Ben Lomond defense responding and wanting to get the ball back and give their offense another shot.
Well, one of the stories that's come out of the lead up to this year's Iron Horse is we'll share this over the next few plays as the dinner.
DeVries completes a pass on the right side, and going the extra yardage there is Chase Butler to try to reestablish some position and give them a manageable 3rd and 5.
Yeah, instead of 3rd and 8 or 9, it's now 3rd and 4 or 5. It looks like 3rd and 4. But I'm still learning how to get stories in between plays here.
Hansen gets the 1st down and then some. Trying to bowl over the defender, and will bring that one for a big gain on the play to get the Tigers to the 44-yard line.
You know, this year opponents have had a really hard time stopping Ogden when they can't stop the run, because then it opens up all sorts of things for them. So I mentioned a dinner. So four years ago when we first did this live stream, there was confusion at the end of the game with the handshake line, and one school didn't, I guess, get the message that they weren't going to do a handshake line, and there were some people upset about that, you know, with, you know, some bad blood in this rivalry going back many years, and you know, different incidents that have happened over the years.
DeVries with a sweep on the right side to Butler, and Butler gets caught in the backfield for a loss of about 1.5 yards.
But fast forward 4 years, and on Monday, Ben Lomond actually hosted Ogden for a dinner on Monday night at Ben Lomond High School. They had former Ogden High coach Dave Brown, who was there for a long time, but his kids went to Ben Lomond. He spoke, and you know, just kind of brought the kids together, and they're moving the game here to Weber State was maybe the first step in several to make this more amicable, healthy rivalry.
DeVries rolling, firing, and unable to get under that one was Trey Pierce. Excuse me, was Jackson Allred. Incomplete pass will bring up a long 3rd and 11 for the Tigers. Ben Lomond with a chance here to try to get the ball back.
Yeah, Allred got behind his defender a little bit, but the throw, I think DeVries was seeing a different route when he let go of it, so just couldn't connect there.
That's a tough throw, rolling left, throwing with your right hand. That's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
DeVries in the gun. Plenty of receivers. 2 to his left, 1 to the right. He's going to roll left. Did he complete it? He did. Riley Hansen again. I wasn't sure if he collected it or not, but as we take a look at the replay, gets it in for a 12-yard gain, and just enough to get the first down and keep this drive alive.
That's a tough break for Ben Lomond's defense. They brought, I think, a safety and a linebacker off the left edge, and Ogden had a rollout to their left, so DeVries' rollout went away from the blitz, and they were able to pick up an easy first down. Otherwise, Ben Lomond had a nice play call there.
DeVries to throw again, nearly gets sacked, but instead completes a pass, and the Tigers are once again in the red zone. Ben Howard on the reception. The tight end puts the Tigers, we'll see where they spot it, on the 8-yard line.
Another good play from DeVries and a tough break from Ben Lomond. They were right in his face, hit as he threw, but Ben Howard broke free for the big gain.
Game of inches there. Big gain. Here's DeVries. He's going to hand it off this time to Butler. Butler cuts back but gets caught at the line of scrimmage. And, well, he did get a gain on the play of a few yards. It'll bring up 2nd and goal on the 4-yard line.
Looked like Xavier Pringle there, number 55, on a really tough stop. It looked like Butler had an angle to get to the end zone, and Pringle just reached out and grabbed him with his arms, pulled him down.
I think you're kind of seeing kind of the theme of Ben Lomond, where they've been close so many times, but just unable to make the play just by a matter of inches to make it happen. DeVries hands it off. I'm not sure who to. I believe that was Butler with him in the backfield, and is brought down short of the end zone. Third and goal on the 1.
Looked like that went to Hansen, and yep.
DeVries in the gun. Hands it off to Hansen, who punches his way through. Did he get it? He did. Touchdown, Ogden Tigers. They now lead 13-0 here in the first quarter.
That's a hard offense to stop when everything's working right for Ogden. They picking up chunks on the yard, or picking up chunks on the ground, and then hitting for big plays over the top, just like the first drive when they hit Gastelum for about 50 yards. This time it was Ben Howard.
Ogden, a resilient bunch. There were a couple of plays there where got to give credit to the Ben Lomond defense. They made a play or two. And that could have deflated the offense, but they just kept with it. Now Devon Sanders. Oh, they're going to fake the point after and go for 2 points. And making the catch in the end zone, Ben Howard. And the Tigers lead 15-0. Beautifully executed play there.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages of having your starting quarterback as the holder.
Exactly.
It makes that an easy call to trust your guy to make the throw. And obviously it's 15-0 here, but you never know when those extra points will come into play later.
Ben Howard with a couple of big plays in that drive. He had the long bomb to put the Tigers well into Ben Lomond territory, and then the catch there. Not an easy one to make, but it was a good throw there by DeVries. Even better catch there by Ben Howard, and Tigers are sitting pretty 15-0, still in the first quarter.
Yeah, this is already a bit more high scoring than last year's double overtime.
Thriller, call it a thriller. That's what it was.
It was a thriller. It was low scoring, but it was still a thriller. Where Ben Lomond tied it up late. Neither team scored in the first overtime, and then Ogden scored a touchdown and got a fumble to end the game in the second set of overtime possessions. So we'll have to see. Ben Lomond looked like they were ready to answer Ogden's offense. Just a couple inches in their first drive that stalled it out and couldn't convert.
Squib kick gets recovered by Ben Lomond. At least appeared to have been recovered by Ben Lomond at first, and they will give the ball to Ben Lomond on the 41-yard line. So good field position once again for the Scots. Last time they got close, they were knocking on the door, but couldn't quite convert on the 4th and 1. Very unfortunate there, because at any other time you would probably see that conversion as Xander Caffel was looked like he had the space, but just slipped and was the first loss on a rushing play for Ben Lomond.
Yeah, I think that's the only negative play of the game so far. Both teams' offenses looking decent today.
Guzman fakes the sweep, and he's got room to work with. He finds the edge. We got a flag, however, on the play. First down by Guzman after the fake sweep to the right side. He brought it back and had plenty of room to work with, but that might be coming back.
You know, it looked for a second like the receiver on the edge was holding, but if you watch the replay, he kind of just pushes him down. He didn't really hold on to the block there.
That will be coming back against Ben Lomond, however.
That feels like a tough break for Ben Lomond. I think the receiver was probably throwing a good block there, but I guess depending on which side of the rivalry you're on, you'll see it a little bit different ways.
It's true.
But that negates a big gain for Ben Lomond, and they'll be facing a 2nd and 11.
Nicholas Guzman in the gun for the Scots.
Your dad said he's in school on the clock.
Sweep to the right side. Caffel with a big gain on the play. Now there seems to be some confusion. So it'll be second.
Oh yeah, see
it should be 2nd down and 2.
Yeah, they had the down marker at second before that play, but it should have been first.
Probably anticipating, yeah.
First down was brought back for the hold.
So it is 2nd and 1.
2nd down now.
2nd and 1.5 really for the Scots. Caffal gets the yardage this time and then some. Keeps his feet. Nearly broke away for a TD, but instead is brought down to the 31-yard line.
You can see why Caffel's their featured back. Tough runner. 4.1 yards per carry this season. And so far, Ben Lomond, like we said, their offense looks ready to rise to the challenge and answer the call here if they can keep stringing together a few more plays.
Caffel again up the middle, this time for a short gain of 2, bringing up 2nd and 8 for Ben Lomond. This is kind of where the offense sputtered a little bit as well in that first drive for the Scots. is that Ogden Tiger defense has been pretty strong in the red zone. Guzman fakes the throw and will keep it. Has to cut back, but is brought down. Still gets a gain on the play, though. 3rd and 5 for Ben Lomond here in the closing minutes of the first quarter.
Ogden brought Isaac Wilson on a pass blitz there, but it was a keep all the way, so Guzman avoided that and sets up another 3rd and manageable here for the Scots.
Can they convert? 0 for 1 so far tonight. The official tying the shoe there of Ben Lomond Scott, and we're ready to go. Guzman in the gun, trips right. 1 to the left, Cathal with him. He's going to keep it, but gets tackled in the midfield. Brought down by number 24 for Ogden, Isaac Wilson. And then getting some help there as well on the tackle from Brian Flores. And that'll bring up 4th and long for Ben Lomond. You got a deep kick here, too. You're looking at 44 yards or so. But it looks like they're going to go for it.
And Ogden had 8 in the box there as the play snapped, so not much chance of success for Ben Lomond there.
Same formation as before. Guzman back to throw. Scrambling. Caught. First down, Ben Lomond. Caught there on the right side by Trey Pearson. And the drive is staying alive for the Scots. We have an injured player on the field. That's number 24, Isaac Wilson, for Ogden. Immediately took off his helmet. That's never a good sign. And as the trainers rush to his aid here in the closing seconds of the first quarter.
Yeah, Wilson had the contain on that left side, and Guzman, rolled out to that side. He came up to make the play just as another Ogden player tackled Guzman from behind, kind of tackled him into Wilson, into his legs. I didn't see exactly, where he might have got hit, but
making plans for the weekend. Get your copy of Go, Standard Examiner's Entertainment and Arts Guide, every Thursday. So today's the day. You can still go out and get your copy of the Standard Examiner at, is it Thursday? It's Friday, yeah.
Today's Thursday.
Dude, all my days are just all mixed up in my brain.
Well, and we're playing high school football on Thursday
Exactly.
right now, not Friday.
Exactly.
But it's been a good thing for this game to be played here on a Thursday night. Looks like Wilson's still going to be down, so we'll go ahead and take a break, and we'll be right back here on Standard.net.
Let's dance!
Welcome back inside Stewart Stadium here for the 66th annual Iron Horse game. Brandon Garside alongside Brett Hine giving you the action live right here on Standard.net. And not looking good here for Isaac Wilson of Ogden. Went down and has been down for some time and is getting a lot of attention. But in addition, Nick Freeman was also helped off the field. He was the quarterback last year, had Tommy John surgery. Baseball is his sport of choice, but he was also helped off, and he's getting attention too there on the trainer's table.
Yeah, it looks like they're both going to be some kind of leg injury. They're looking at Freeman's knees, perhaps over here. I didn't see exactly what happened to Wilson, but it did look like, a lower leg injury as Guzman was kind of tackled into Wilson out there on the edge.
We have a set of crutches being brought out now. That's a terrible sign. kind of, I realize it's a different level, but this is, I mean, just for our backgrounds, you covering Weber State and me having covered Weber State and still kind of following them. I mean, last week they had Tyler Downs, an offensive lineman, kind of take a hit, and kind of a similar situation where a player was tackled into them, and obviously I don't want to speculate about Wilson's injury, but the situations I think were similar.
Yeah, just kind of one of those awkward things that happens in football where someone gets hit into someone else. And it looks like they've got him up on... Looks
like he's walking on his own, but he's heading... Oh, no, I'm sorry, had a bad angle. He's being carried off.
And in the game, that came on a fourth down scramble. Guzman let go of the pass right before he was tackled for a completion and a first down. So Ben Lomond will have the ball at the Ogden 14, but obviously best wishes to Isaac Wilson on that play.
Absolutely.
That's a rough way to go out.
It really is.
Well, this 2018 Iron Horse game is brought to you by Tony Divino Toyota. As we get back to action, we appreciate their sponsorship. They are the 2018 winner of the Standard Examiner's Reader's Choice Award for car dealerships, and they're now celebrating their 30th year of business. So they're open Monday through Saturday on Riverdale Road. That's Tony Divino Toyota.
Guzman keeps it, has some space, working his way into the end zone, and scores a touchdown to put Ben Lomond on the board.
You know, the way they moved the ball in their first possession, it looked like this was far from over. And the Scots came out, got the ball the second time, and made it happen.
Looked like for a second that they were going to do a screen pass to Caffel, but Guzman on the keeper and cuts into the Tiger lead to stay alive. Giovanni Martinez with the point after, and it's good. The Scots answer. Tigers still lead this one 15-7. There's the replay again, and what resilience coming from Guzman on that play. There's a lot of opportunities for the Tigers to kind of bring him down on that one. He just kept the legs pumping and punched into the end zone to keep this game within reach.
Great answer for the Scots there, and then deservedly so. They actually, they've got the longest losing streak in the state. They're trying to avoid another winless season, but last week they had a touchdown lead against Stansbury, who's the best team in the region in Region 11, and so they've been in games. They're not uncompetitive, if you will. So you're seeing that same fight here today.
Ben Lomond has won 3 of the last 4 Iron Horse games. They won 3 in a row, not including last year, obviously, after Ogden wins the double overtime thriller. But the 3 games before that, it was all Ben Lomond. And obviously, as we've talked about, it's kind of been a tale of 2 seasons for both of these teams. But again, all that goes out the window here at the Iron Horse.
Yeah, the Ben Lomond players said there's just a different level of focus and intensity in the practices leading up to this, regardless of what's happened this season.
A lot of space, a big hole. All he's got to do is beat the kicker, and he doesn't. Good return there for the Tigers. Logan Shobe with a big-time return puts Ogden on their own 46-yard line. That hole was there immediately. Looking at that, it just opened wide up. Easy one to...
Yep, he ran past that first tackler right into the hole. So now Ogden has its best starting field position of the night, similar to what Ben Lomond's been working with on its 2 drives. And the kind of chunks they've been picking up here as the first quarter comes to an end, this is a tough position for Ben Lomond.
Big run up the middle from Riley Hansen for a 9-yard gain. And that'll bring, I believe, a close to the first quarter. So at the end of one, Tigers are on top, but they have the ball and are marching as they lead 15-7. We'll be right back for more Iron Horse action right here on Standard.net.
Let's dance!
Welcome back to Stewart Stadium at Weber State University. Brandon Garside alongside Brett Hine, bringing you the 66th Iron Horse live right here on Standard.net. Tigers with good field position here after a big run from Hansen. DeVries back to pass. Lofts one and tipped. Great tip there by the secondary from Ben Lomond. Number 35, Stephon Watson.
Ogden set up with the it was almost like an inverted wing T. They had the two wings and then a guy in the pistol. They leaked one of them up the right side, and Watson made a great read on that play to break that up. Now it's 3rd and short for the Tigers.
DeVries hands it off, and going up the middle for the first down is Chase Butler. That'll bring the Tigers to the Ben Lomond 39-yard line. Great quickness by Butler to hit that hole and get the yardage that the Tigers needed to get the first down and keep this drive going.
He's one of the two. Ogden's, I mean, they've got such a potent backfield with Butler and Hansen. They've each, Hansen's got 831 yards. Butler has 600.
Sweep to the left and a lot of room to work with has Hansen. He tries to hit the edge, and a face mask coming out. It looks like his flags fly all over the place.
Yeah, that was obviously seen by multiple refs. That'll depends where they call the foul, but if it's outside the 20, I think that'll still be a 15-yard penalty. So that's a huge chunk.
That was pretty obvious. Live, honestly, watching it from the booth live, it didn't seem that obvious, but looking at the replay, clear as day. Easy call for the officials to make. I don't know why that didn't look like a face mask to me when I first saw it, but looking at the replay, it was like, okay, yeah, that was painfully obvious.
Sometimes it's hard to catch. So it looks like they will go half the distance on that based on where the foul happened. So that takes Ogden to the Ben Lomond 11.
1st and 10 for the Tigers here in the early goings of the second quarter. DeVries. Hansen keeps his legs pumping, but gets met at the 2-yard line. They're making the tackle was Sincere Wilson, the sophomore.
Ogden's got a lot of plays to work with here because they need a yard to pick up a first down. They can still pick up a first down before going goal to go. So tall task for Ben Lomond's defense right here.
They've had a couple of TFLs so far tonight. One here would be huge. As DeVries goes under center, hands out to Hansen, who's going to walk his way into the end zone for the score. Tigers extend their lead 21-7 here in the second quarter.
That's 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns for Ogden. That one started on the other side of the quarter break, but they came right back out, and they're getting pretty much what they want offensively.
Point after, nearly blocked, but it goes through the uprights. Cooper Crabtree with the kick for Ogden to extend the lead 22-7.
If you're just joining us, Ogden scored first and then was able to hold the Scots on a 4th down slip by Xander Caffel. Went down and scored again and went for 2, a Bo DeVries pass. So that's how we have the 22-7 score. But Ben Lomond answered right back that second touchdown. So we'll have to see if they can keep up offensively so far, because that looks like that's what's going to be needed from them to stay in this for now.
Ben Lomond definitely looking for a couple of stops here in this first half to try to stop the bleeding as they trail 22-7. And hey, high school fans, for a full Friday night football roundup, pick up the Saturday edition of the Standard Examiner over at over 200 locations across the valley.
And another thing on Friday night, if you go to standard.net, we bring you live scores from all the teams in northern Utah. Between our reporters, freelancers, and fans who help us out, we try to have the most accurate live scores throughout the night. So Ogden Ben Lomond playing tonight. As Ogden pops up, does another short kick. This time they pop it up instead of line drive it, and Ben Lomond still takes care of it for the third time.
Zane Espinoza with the return for Ben Lomond. Had he kept his feet, that could have been a very dangerous return against the Tigers.
So Ben Lomond working with another field of less than 60 yards here. Interesting strategy from Ogden here. Maybe trying to pick up an extra possession because they received the first half kick. But so far Ben Lomond's been up to the task.
Guzman in the gun, the senior. Will keep it. He's rolling right. Wide open and caught. He's got room. He will go the distance. And just like that, Ben Lomond answers.
Looked like Stephon Watson on that. Esquivel broke 3 up the right side, and I don't think Guzman saw him, but he still connected with Watson for a huge score for the Scots.
What an answer for Ben Lomond. First play of the drive, I believe. And Watson rallies that one in, hauls that one in, and is keeping this game interesting.
So that's about a 55-yard touchdown pass, and just like that, it's a one-score game.
Martinez puts the ball through the uprights to make it 22-14. And so you hope a play like that from Ben Lomond energizes the defense to try to get the ball back and stop the Tigers from scoring.
Yeah, I mean, the only difference so far in this game is that one slip on the 4th down play from Ben Lomond. Other than that, they've been there punch for punch with the potent Tigers offense. So, yeah, I guess it'll have to be kind of a break-serve situation. We'll see if they can break Ogden's serve here and get a stop. I mentioned live scores on standard.net on Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Only 9 games tomorrow. That's because we've got Ogden and Ben Lomond here. Also, Bonneville is playing Stansbury right now. Region 11's playing all its games this week on Thursday because next week's games are on Wednesday. But it looks like Bonneville is up 14-0 on the region-leading Stallions.
No way!
So
how about my Lakers, huh?
So the Lakers are answering the bell. Not certain if they are.
They're eliminated from the playoffs, right? Yeah, they're.
I don't think so.
I thought they were. That's what our man Patrick Carr told me.
Did he?
I believe so.
I thought maybe a win could pick them up here, but either way.
Giovanni Martinez with the kick. And that will go out of play for a penalty. So the Tigers are going to start with some good field possession as well.
Not sure if they were trying to pop one up and create mayhem like Ogden did, or if that was just a missed kick. But
yeah, the kickoff game's been kind of interesting for both sides, really.
Understandably, from Ben Lomond's side, they're trying to keep the ball away from Irving Gastelum.
Absolutely.
He's definitely a big play threat anytime he has the ball in his hands. But either way, not terrible. Ogden starts at the 35, so I think Ben Lomond will be okay with that.
Can they get a stop? They've been unable to do so far tonight. DeVries with a sweep out to the left side. And Hansen cuts his way inside for a big gain on the play of 7 yards. Bringing up 2nd and 3 for the Tigers.
You mentioned your Bonneville Lakers.
Yes.
This is our 4th time doing the live stream on Standard.net, and it's kind of amusing. We're usually accused of homerism, that we either love Ogden or Ben Lomond. Brandon Garside here went to Bonneville. I went to Roy High, and Patrick Carr is from California. So no bias here. We just want some good football.
DeVries hands it up to Hansen. Hansen cuts it back, and then back again for the first down, and then some to about midfield, and that'll bring a first down for the Tigers. Yeah, absolutely. I'm a Laker through and through. So I'm having a really hard time sitting next to Brett here, the Royal.
That's one of the older rivalries.
It really is. It's not so much now, is it? I don't know.
Yeah, they're different classifications now, but so
that kind of makes things difficult.
They still playing football usually. But the Iron Horse is an awesome tradition here, especially moving it here to Weber State. The fans that show up for both schools are more than either school could hold.
DeVries back to pass. Completes it. Number 17, Jackson Allred, hauls it in for another first down for the Tigers, marching into Ben Lomond territory.
Another game of inches situation there. Ty Esquivel was back there at safety. Kind of had a beat on the throw, but arrived a split second too late.
Yeah, Jackson Allred's pretty tall. He's got some long hands as well, long arms and
long hands.
Long hands. You can have long hands.
But just talking about this rivalry, it looks like both schools showed up pretty strong again. So it's a nice environment here.
Butler gets nowhere on that play off the handoff from DeVries. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Tigers. The Tigers have scored 3 times in a row on their first 3 drives. They're trying to keep that trend going. Certainly have the position to do so, but the Scots looking for some momentum defensively. Their offense has proven that they can hang, but they need some stops to be able to cut into this 22-14 lead.
And they got a no gain on that, so Ogden's usually operating on 3rd and short if they get to 3rd down.
DeVries to throw. Comes across, and it's nearly intercepted, but unable to haul it in for Ben Lomond was Anthony Flores. Just about had that one, read it perfectly. And again, that's one thing you don't want to do as a quarterback, is throw across the field like DeVries does there. But
Gastelum came at just the right moment to break that up.
Exactly.
Otherwise, Ben Lomond had the stop we were talking about.
3rd and 10. Despite the dropped interception, I guess you won't. It was batted down. I won't call that a drop. You got to give Flores the credit. He was there.
If we had full stats, that would be a pass breakup for Anthony Flores. So definitely made a good play on the ball either way.
DeVries gives it to Hansen up the middle. Hansen pumping his feet. Well short of the first down, but he goes about half the distance in between the markers to bring up 4th and 5.
I'd imagine they'd go for it here. That'd be about 40-yard field goal from this spot, which some schools in the area have kickers who can hit that, but that's a longer distance for high school. And it looks like they're coming out to go for it.
DeVries under center. Sweeps it to the left to Hansen. Hansen finds the edge but gets knocked out of play. Was he in enough for a first down? Yes. So 1st and 10 for the Tigers in the red zone. Tough break there for Ben Lomond.
Interesting play call there. That they've got the split backs, and DeVries kind of turned and did the underhand pitch. It's like the referee pitch.
Yeah.
Underhanded a kind of a speed pitch to Hansen, who had the room to pick up the first down.
DeVries under center. Rolls right. Completes a pass to Butler. Butler spinning, inching his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Chase Butler gets the 16-yard touchdown pass, and now the Tigers are up 28-14.
Yeah, you see DeVries under pressure there, and Butler gets contact at the 5. and that's just a great display of some will and toughness from Chase Butler. And Ogden, their offense is looking pretty good today.
They really are.
4 for 4 on drives today for touchdowns.
Point after is good. 29-14 the score. Tigers making it look easy out there on the offensive end for sure. Scots had their opportunities to stop that drive and put themselves in good position. You had a 3rd and 10, and then the Tigers went for it on 4th and 5 and were able to convert, and that's what led to the touchdown and that 16-yard pass. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, more Iron Horse action right here on Sander.net.
So why do teenagers play high school sports?
My reason why is a sense of purpose.
My reason why is to inspire others.
One reason student athletes seldom mention is to get an athletic scholarship. They know that only 2% of all high school athletes are awarded a sports scholarship. So why do they play?
My reason why is friendship.
Tell us your reason using the hashtag #MyReasonWhy.
This message presented by the NFHS and the Utah High School Activities Association.
Welcome back inside Stewart Stadium here at Weber State University for the 66th Iron Horse game. Tony DeVino is proud to sponsor the live stream of the 2018 Iron Horse game. From top Toyota models like the Camry, Corolla, Tundra, RAV4 to Do It Right the First Time Service Center. As the return for Ben Lomond will go to the 40-yard line. Visit Tony DeVino Toyota on Riverdale Road or at TonyDeVinoToyota.com. Special thanks to them for their sponsorship for tonight's game.
Another short kick there. Ogden looks like it's going to stick with the short squibs, the short pop-ups, and I guess hope that Ben Lomond makes a mistake. But so far, that's 4 times they've tried it. 4 times Ben Lomond has been right there to recover.
Guzman to throw. Finds his man. And a flag on the play. That might be a pass interference. I don't know. Was it offensive? Maybe?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And hauled it in there.
Guzman hit Watson on a quick slant off the play action, the zone read play action.
So the Scots may get some free yardage here.
To be honest, I did not see what they might be calling there.
So they are, it will be, it looks like it's going to be pass interference against the Tigers. Yes, that is the call.
So they'll take that penalty, 15-yard penalty, so you get the first down out of that. The pass looked like it was right close to the sticks for 9 or 10 yards, so pick up an extra 5 on the penalty.
1st and 10 for the Scots on the Tiger 44. Here with 6:50 left in the second quarter. Guzman back to pass again. Oh, a wide open Giovanni Martinez. Turned his head a little too soon. Kind of got a little excited on that play. Knew that he was open, knew that he had the space, and drops the pass and will bring up 2nd and 10. That's a tough break.
It looks like Ben Lomond has a good offensive game plan for what they've seen on film from Ogden.
Comes down to execution for sure. Guzman this time hands it off to Caffel, but we're going to get to Caffel, but we're going to have a false start against Ben Lomond. We'll bring it back even further for the Scots. So a couple of self-inflicted wounds from Ben Lomond is going to make it 2nd and 15.
It looked like the receivers on the far side maybe were not sure if the play call had come in or had been finalized, and they both had turned to look at the quarterback as the snap happened. So too much movement.
So the Scots with their work cut out for them now. Still some downs to work with. Guzman in the gun. Hands off to Caffel, and he finds the left side. Nearly loses the ball, but hangs on to it. It came out of his hand. I'm not sure how that happened. But he picks up some good yardage there for a more manageable third down. Let's take a look at that replay, kind of see what happened there. Caffel, brilliant cutback, and it just popped out of his hand. Like, it made no sense, but he... a lot of times when you're running, a lot of things are happening, and things like that can happen.
He caught the break. It squirted out right in front of him, so he ran right back into it.
Guzman picks up the low snap, looking to throw. Here comes the heat. He throws it, and it'll hit the turf. Good job by Guzman to get rid of that one, at
had
least.
Watson and Esquivel coming across the middle there, so definitely not a grounding situation. And probably a situation where they're going to go for it here on 4th and 6.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be a false start against Ben Lomond, and Guzman not happy with Hugo Salcedo, who jumped up early. Salcedo looked back in confusion, but I mean, if you're the only one that's jumping, then
yeah, that's just another one of those tough breaks there. The game plan, like we said, it looks like it's there, but some missteps here has had him moving backwards. Now at the 4th and 11, it looks like they're going to kick it away.
2 penalties and a dropped pass on this drive kind of stifled it for the Scots. It's a fake. Scrambling for it. A pass, and it's tipped down by Gastelum. And so the Tigers, we have a flag, however.
I'd imagine if that was completed, it's several ineligible men downfield is my guess. The way he... Yeah, that's the call. The way he looked to keep it and then pulled back and threw it at the last second.
Yeah. So that penalty is obviously declined, and the Tigers will take over on downs after a couple of self-inflicted wounds from Ben Lomond. 1st and 10 for the Tigers on their own 44. Tough break. I mean, like we said, tough break for Ben Lomond when it's the plan appears to be there. But just a couple of things didn't go their way, and now the Tigers looking to make it 4 scores in a row. Bo DeVries back to pass for Ogden. Short dump pass to Hansen. We got a flag on the play. Hansen finds the right edge, and he will score, but we do have the flag on the play. I don't know what just came out of my mouth right then.
I didn't see the play. The only 2 options, and that's one of them, is a hold. So that's a
coming back.
55-yard passing touchdown that's going to come back.
Ben Lomond sideline still celebrating. They're gonna. And there it is, the hush. After the realization that it's going back. Big break there for Ben Lomond. So now it's going to be 1st and a mile.
The play was there. The hold kept DeVries from getting hit. It didn't really spring the big play. They had a nice seal on the right side for Butler to just go right up the sideline and down the field, but obviously Ben Lomond had DeVries under pressure and escaped on the hold.
Bo DeVries under center. 2 receivers on each side. He hands it off up the middle, and Hansen with some wheels and some space finds the left side, and he's trying to repeat what he just did, but in running for him, and he'll keep his feet and make it down to the 10-yard line. What a run. Riley Hansen, big time play, puts the Tigers in the red zone.
So you go from a 55-yard passing touchdown, or reception, called back, to about a 60-yard rush for Riley Hansen. We've got a timeout on the field by Ben Lomond as Ogden is knocking on the door again, right at the 10-yard line. So they'll have a 1st and goal on the other side of this timeout.
We'll take the timeout with him when we come back. More Iron Horse action right here on standard.net/sports. Don't go anywhere.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Utah, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Utah High School Activities Association and the Utah Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Weber State's
dramatic pause.
They've got number 4 Eastern Washington coming into this very field in a couple days.
DeVries to throw to the end zone. Touchdown! Gastelum with the reception and the TD extends the Tiger lead to 35-14.
We'll have to see this on replay. It looked like he did haul it in just inside the plane, and that's what the refs saw too.
Ooh.
Yeah, looks like the ball was on the touchdown side of the goal line as he caught it. That's all that matters is where the ball is. So that's 5 for 5 for Ogden's offense so far this half.
And the point after, up and good. And the Tigers running away with this one early. 36 first half points. That's a lot, folks. I don't care who you are.
Take a look back at some score updates here. Looks like Bonneville has a 17-7 lead midway through the third quarter over Stansbury.
Go Lakers!
So they're still maintaining that lead. And where is this? Is this in Sacramento?
Oh man, yes it is.
In NBA preseason action, the Jazz are beating the Kings 36-9 right now, 37-9, with about 30 seconds left in the first quarter.
That's insane. It's going to be a good year for Utah.
Just lots of points spread out. There's not really any one guy doing it.
That's why they're going to be so good.
Ricky Rubio has 4 assists, but
yeah, if you're a Ben Lomond fan, Ogden fan, it doesn't matter. I bet you're all, well, probably not all, but I mean, we can all join together and be Jazz fans.
All right, every kickoff so far this game, Ogden has kicked short in some fashion. It seems to be a definite game plan.
Cooper Crabtree, kicker for the Tigers. We'll launch this one.
Oh, they go deep.
Go to the right side, and that will stay in play. Oh, oof. Just about.
No, that's actually a dangerous.
It really is
to not follow the ball, because if that ball stops dead inside the field of play, it's live and could be recovered.
Scoop and score, baby.
But it does go out of bounds, so Ben Lomond will start at its own 35.
Ben Lomond on that last drive had a lot of, like I said, I need to find a synonymous phrase other than self-inflicted wounds. Kind of shot themselves in the foot. There it is. A few times on the last drive. Let's see if they can recover from that and try to chip into this lead. We got flags coming down.
Might have been a late face mask.
As Caffel gets brought down 1 yard short of the line of scrimmage. And we'll...
Yeah, I think he got...
Personal foul face mask.
Grabbed around on the face mask right there as he tried to cut back.
So the gift from Ogden will put the Scots on their own 49. They try to look to add some points to the board before they head to the locker room for halftime. Of course, I understand that the teams will not be going to the locker rooms here at Stewart Stadium, but rather to their buses, as construction continues on the north end of the end zone for the, I don't know what to call it, just the structure that's going to go there. DeVries back to pass, pump fakes, gets some space, completes on the right side to Ty Esquivel.
Nice Guzman with a nice nice sidestep to avoid the pressure there. Almost a big play for Ogden's defense to kind of take back some of those yards on the face mask.
I called him DeVries, didn't I?
I think you did.
I think I did. I apologize. So, yeah, Guzman, nice presence in the pocket. Looks like we have an official timeout.
It's a hurt Ogden Tiger on the sidelines, just wasn't quite off the field. So they were waiting for him to...
Giovanni Martinez.
And the hurt Ogden Tiger
I'm sorry. Oh, my gosh. It's
Riley Nelson.
Riley Nelson?
Yikes. Riley Hansen. Obviously one of the key cogs in Ogden's offense. He plays safety, too. So he's down on the bench, a little shaken up, not sure what injury there.
Guzman on the keeper, doesn't go far. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. So the Scots unable to really take full advantage. Still got a few downs to work with, but so far that penalty has not been taken advantage of.
For the most part, it looks like Ogden's playing kind of a straight-up defense, not too many blitzes.
Caffel up the middle. He'll get a gain of about 5 on the play. Maybe 4.5, probably closer to 4 is the mark I'm seeing. This is the spot I'm seeing, excuse me. Yep, and that'll bring up 3rd and 6.
This is a big play. 3.5 minutes here left in the first half. Ben Lomond's not out of it yet, but they might need some points here to keep this close.
Guzman, pass to the left side, is caught, and getting the first down. Number 17, Trey Pearson, marching into Tiger territory.
That's that. Looked like a little bit of a run-pass option that they ran last possession. Guzman rolled out to the left, had Pearson, made the right decision, got it out to him for the first down.
Pearson, leading receiver for the Scots, 290 yards on the season. Guzman fakes the sweep, has some heat coming, throws it to the end zone. Nearly intercepted there by Gastelum. Incomplete pass. Second and 10 for the Scots.
Looked like Alex Schroeder and Irvin Gastelum there on the double coverage. The ball was thrown a little bit, had a little bit more juice on it. The play was there.
It was, yeah, absolutely.
Not a totally terrible decision, but with the heat coming, he had to get rid of it.
Guzman in the gun. Keeps it, dances, still on his feet but gets nowhere. Will bring up 3rd and 10.
Well, if you're just joining us, Ogden leads 36-14. They have scored on all 5 of its offensive possessions, including 1 with a 2-point conversion. And Ben Lomond's just trying to keep up. This is not abnormal for what Ogden has done in other games it's played. So Ben Lomond just needs to find a few plays to get back in this.
Caffel with the run up the middle. Gets again a forward play. That'll bring up 4th and 6. And at this spot, you got to imagine that they're going to go for it. They will. Guzman in the gun. He's got 2 receivers on each side, and Caffel with him in the backfield.
A lot of 3 and 4 wide for Ben Lomond. They try to spread it out and create those lanes. So they're looking for the play call from the sideline, and they're going to call a timeout.
Yeah, looks like they want to talk it over. We'll take it with them when we come back. We'll bring you 4th and 6 for Ben Lomond here late in the second quarter, right here on Standard.net.
Let's dance!
Welcome back to Stewart Stadium as we approach the end of the first half of the Iron Horse game, and the Tigers hanging on to a comfortable lead. Here's run by Caffel to try to find the extra yardage there, and it looks like he got the first down.
He's got it.
Big time play from Caffel to keep this drive alive as the clock ticks towards 0. Here in the second quarter, 1st and 10 for the Scots on the Tiger 14. So a score here would certainly breathe some life into this Ben Lomond team as they head into halftime.
And they'll Ben Lomond gets the ball to start the second half too, so a score here would be huge. By no means would the game be over if they can punch it in.
Guzman on the keeper, trying to find that outside edge, cuts it back in, and will go the distance for the score. Touchdown, Ben Lomond.
That is a nice run from Nick Guzman. Didn't look like he had much space on the left side, but he just made it happen.
Really did. Saw a lot of pressure, found that outside, and then cut it back in. A great block there from Ty Esquivel to help his QB get the extra distance that he needed and to make the score a little manageable. Again, the offense, other than that one drive where they kind of sputtered a little bit, but nothing from high snap, and that gets blocked. It's live on the ground. I guess that'll just be a dead ball. Okay. I guess that's how that works.
I wish I should be more versed in the differences between like high school and college rules, but
yeah, should I?
That might be a situation where blocked extra points are not returnable.
So that's a big block for Ogden. So I guess it's of no consequence though. I'm trying to think. Math is hard.
There's a lot of time left in this game.
There's a lot of time left in this game.
Every point matters, but also a lot of time left.
But regardless, a big score from Ben Lomond.
Now, we talked about Ben Lomond comes out of halftime with the ball, or receiving the kickoff at least. Be curious here. If I'm Eric Alder and the Ben Lomond coaches, I might think about an onside kick here.
Absolutely.
Maybe try and steal some points at the end of the first half to try and make up some of that margin and get the ball out of halftime.
For all your local news, subscribe to the Standard Examiner for just $20 for 4 weeks of home delivery.
8 weeks.
8 weeks. What did I say? 4? See, it's even better. To subscribe, call 801-625-4200. Again, that's 801-625-4200. Ben Lomond's gonna play it safe. Gastelum on the no, I'm sorry. Big return. Oh my goodness. Pumping his legs to midfield. Terrific return there.
I think that's Logan Shobe. It's hard to make out the orange numbers on the black jerseys from across the field, but
I think you're right. Yeah.
22. I believe
that is Shobe. That's the man. Logan Shobe with a huge return puts the Tigers at midfield. If you're Ogden, a score here kind of deflating to Ben Lomond, really.
Yeah, the other
game.
side of the onside kick debate is that Ogden's offense has been so good, you don't want to give him a short field. Well, Shobe just did that with his legs.
And running through the line of scrimmage there for an easy call, Nate Woods will give the Tigers an extra 5.
Ben Lomond is trying to bring some heat and maybe flip the field. A minute 9 left. A sack or a tackle for loss would be big in that situation. Just got a little too anxious.
DeVries back to pass. Dumps it off, but unable to make the catch there was Riley Hansen. Pass a little too high. And honestly, I was surprised that we saw a passing play at all from Ogden. Given the situation, the last thing you want to do right now is throw a pick 6 or anything like that.
They do have all 3 timeouts if they want points here at the end of the half. Their run game has been
solid,
pretty potent.
Yeah,
but I need to take a look here. Is that Riley Hansen back in the backfield?
Bo DeVries Hands it off to Hansen. And he is stopped short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and about 1.5 or 2, depending on how they spot it.
I think he got the pass attempt too. He was shaken up a few possessions ago, so good to see him back.
Well, that's right. So it'll be 3rd and 2 for the Tigers. They take a timeout. Kind of talk over what they want to do. They certainly have the time to get on the board once more to make it 6 for 6, right? Yeah. 6 for 6. They've scored on all 5 of their drives so far. That's why the score is the way it is. I mean, you look at Ben Lomond, 20 points at halftime. That's great. That's solid, but I mean...
Yeah, by no means.
Yeah.
By no means is Ben Lomond having a bad game offensively.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're just trying to find the answer on how to stop the Ogden offense, and they'll need to do it for the first time here to end the half.
And hey, high school fans, for a full Friday night roundup tomorrow, go to standard.net, featuring photo galleries from many of the games, and follow Patrick Carr on Twitter at @PatrickCarr_. Patrick is the man.
He does a good job.
He does a terrific job.
He works hard. I don't know if people know that it's basically only me and him, but...
DeVries back to pass, has some time, slings it for the end zone, and it's caught! Gastelum steps in front, makes the catch to score again and make it 6 for 6 for the Tigers.
For about 35 of the 40 yards that thing was in the air, it looked like an interception.
Absolutely,
and Gastelum just comes back off his route.
Look at the step in front there.
And that's just one of the many reasons why he's such the playmaker that he is. He's just got a knack for the ball. And man, Ogden's offense is putting up points tonight.
Watson thought that he had that one. I'm sure he did. And the point after for the Tigers is good. And suddenly they lead 43-20 with 48 ticks left here in the second quarter. My goodness.
It's been kind of a long half.
It really has. What time is it?
63 points.
8:54 the time. Woo, yeah.
Both teams making it happen on the offensive side, but Ogden just a bit much right now. So Ben Lomond, they only have one timeout left, so the prospects of points to close the half is a little bit slim, but they do get the ball to start the second half. I'd imagine, despite Ogden's plan to kick short most of the time, I'd imagine they would not do that in this situation.
I would have to agree. Man, you look at the speed of that last drive too. I think Ogden had the ball with less than 2 minutes, and were able to make it happen. Get on the board once again. Unreal. 6 consecutive scores. 1 2-point conversion. And the Tigers are sitting pretty at 43-20 as we approach halftime. Not quite over, though.
It's not something that Ogden is a stranger to, putting up points. Although they seem to have been ready for this one. They put up 40+ in several games.
That ball from Crabtree goes out of bounds.
That was another one that Ogden may have had a play on, but couldn't quite get there. But yeah, Ogden with a nice turnaround season. Credit to Eric Thompson and the coaching staff. They've kind of rebounding off of several tough years into what is now basically a playoff bid. So they scored 41 and 48 against Judge Memorial and Enterprise to open the season. They went on the road and played Logan, who's one of the best teams in 4A, and were right there in it through the whole game. So they've had a really, really solid year, and this would definitely be how they would prefer to end this season.
Guzman back to pass. Has time. The pocket collapses. He scrambles. He's going to keep it himself and just go out of play. And
I thought Chase Butler might have got a little overzealous there. It wasn't a huge hit.
So take a look at the replay.
They're not flag stay.
No, yeah. He was. It was close.
That's some nice escapability from Nick Guzman, though.
Yeah, still get a gain on that play after he saw nothing down the field and
had to sidestep.
Yeah.
Pivot, spin around. Still picked up 4 yards.
Guzman hands it off to Caffel. Caffel gets a gain on the play of about 4. Third and short.
Looks like both teams, well, at least Ogden is content to let this get into halftime. They had some timeouts to use.
Looks like Ben Lomond's trying to keep it going, though. I saw, you saw the urgency a little bit for the players to get out to their respective positions. Oh my goodness! And a face mask. A face mask as Guzman goes to the ground.
I was just going to say, if they can pick up a chunk here, they can call a timeout and, maybe take a shot to the end zone. That personal foul will definitely help.
And I'm honestly not looking downfield, but I just wonder if the Tiger defense is just doing a nice job of preventing anything from happening, or if Guzman is just playing a little more conservatively to not turn the ball over before the half is out. Keep this drive alive. But that penalty certainly helps. 1st and 10. But I mean, this may be the last play of the half with only 7 seconds remaining.
If they can pick up maybe a few yards, they still have a timeout left.
Guzman rolls left. Switches the field. 1 second left. This will be the last play of the half. And brought down is Trey Pearson. And that'll do it for the first half. The Tigers lead by 20. 43-23 the score. Wait, that's not right.
No, it is not.
43-20 is the score.
The stadium scoreboard says 43-23. I'm not sure how Ben Lomond picked up a field goal there.
Who's the technical home team?
Ogden.
Well, there you go. That explains that. The score that you're seeing on your screen is correct, but the scoreboard here inside Stewart Stadium has given the Scott. No, yeah, it's given. Okay, so it's not home. I'm an idiot. Don't worry about me. But yeah, there's 3 extra points on the board that should not be there.
Yeah, Ogden coaches are asking the referees about it right now, as the teams go into their pseudo locker rooms of their buses.
Let's dance!
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Utah, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Utah High School Activities Association and the Utah Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Making plans for the weekend? Get your copy of Go, the Standard Examiner's Entertainment and Arts Guide, every Thursday. Welcome back inside Stewart Stadium. Brandon Garside alongside Brett Hine, and maybe occasionally by Patrick Carr, who's busily working behind us here in the booth. The Ogden Tigers sitting comfortably with a 43-20 lead as we start the second half here at Stewart Stadium on the campus of Weber State University. Kind of chilly outside. See everybody bundling up and kind of
really chilly,
huddling close together. Patrick Carr has come to shelter. How cold is it out there, Patrick?
Probably under about 50 degrees right now. That might be something to look for. Just cold hands. Dropping some balls, maybe. We'll see.
Ogden will kick off. That's why that late score by Ben Lomond was so big. Unfortunately for them, the Tigers responded with less than 2 minutes and got on the board once again. But the Scots will start the second half with the ball. trailing by 23. This ball finally fielded and bringing it up for a short return was Pearson. Trey Pearson. So the Scots will start the first drive of the third quarter, the ever-important opening drive of the second half, on their own 27-yard line. To get things started. Guzman back in the gun. 2 receivers each side. He goes back to pass. Completes it to Pearson for a short gain. That'll bring up 2nd and 6 for the Scots. Good execution on that play. Got the receiver, just unable to make anything happen out of the catch. No room really to go anywhere. Second and 7, excuse me. Guzman in the backfield. Handoff. Pearson barreling his way down the right side is short of the first down, but it will be a very manageable 3rd and 1 for the Scots.
Like that play call right there. We haven't seen the jet sweep at all from Ben Lomond. It's usually been, quarterback keeper, handoff to Caffel, but that was the first time we've seen the jet sweep. It worked pretty well, it looked like.
Indeed it did. That's the most manageable 3rd down that we've seen in a while. Oh my goodness, what a tackle. I think it still may be enough for the first down. But bringing down Caffel was Connor Howard.
He's short.
And he's short of the first down. Terrific tackle from Connor Howard on that one. Guzman, 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Hands it off and pushing his legs to get the extra distance and the first down was Xander Caffel. And that'll be enough to move the chains.
He was stopped at first there. It looked like Ogden was going to get another short field, but hey, hats off to Caffel for getting the 2 yards there on 4th and 1. Second 4th down conversion for him tonight.
Guzman rolls left, passes it behind Pearson, who manages to catch it, but is still behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 1 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 11 for the Scots. Some confusion about the formation for Ben Lomond. Trips right, 1 to the left. Guzman with Caffel back with him in the backfield. He'll keep it, cuts back inside, gets a gain on the play of about 5 to bring up 3rd and 6. Excuse me, that was going to be 3rd and 7. Same formation as before. Guzman back in the gun. Guzman looks to the sideline for the play call. Guzman keeps it, but will be sacked in the backfield. Shob with the sack for the Tigers. Brings up 4th down. Logan Shob with a great hustle on that play to bring a 4th and long, and now Ben Lomond will punt this one away. Giovanni Martinez set to take the punt for the Scots. High snap. Martinez miraculously brings it down to get it away. And he gets a nice roll on the kick, too. What a series of fortunate events there for Martinez. That snap was just about as high as it could have been with him still being able to bring it down. And now the Tigers will take over. And I didn't see where they spot this one. It looks like it'll be on the 21-yard line.
I mean, with that roll, that's almost a 50-yard punt on
wild.
On what was nearly a snap over his head. So that's a fantastic play from Martinez.
There's been several instances of this game being one of inches tonight. That being one of them. Bo DeVries hands it off to, you guessed it, the freaking freight train, Riley Hansen. Runs it in for 11 yards to give the Tigers a first down. That'll give them a $136.
I believe so.
132 yards rushing so far for Hansen tonight.
On 16 carries, averaging more than 8 yards a pop.
He's averaging more than 8 yards per carry. Here's another one. He's got space. He's cutting back. Wow. Finally met at the 40. Just short of the first down. There's still a lot of football to be played, but he's definitely the front runner, pun intended, for the player of the game so far for the Tigers.
And you know, he's not really getting huge holes from the offensive line. He's getting little slips, and he's darting around. He's shifting. He's moving all over the place, cutting. He's just so hard to get a read on, and that's why he's so dangerous.
He'll take a breather here. Looks like he got absorbed a hit a little bit there, and he's shaken up. Doesn't look like anything serious, but he might sit a few out to catch his breath.
DeVries under center. Hands it up to Shob, who goes nowhere.
70 and 14.
Hugo Salcedo with the tackle. 70 and 14.
70 and 14.
And Nate Woods with the stop there for Ben Lomond. They'll bring up 3rd and 2 for the Tigers. Riley Hansen back in. In the backfield with Shob. Under the gun is DeVries. DeVries. Hansen cuts it back. Oh my goodness. Great footwork there from Riley Hansen to get the first down. 1st and 10 Tigers on the 46.
Uncharacteristically slow drive.
Pray, do tell.
It's an uncharacteristically methodical drive so far for Ogden. Also looks like we had a penalty here.
Yeah, I didn't quite see it. Looking at the replay again.
It's a big one. Oof.
I don't know what happened, but they are marching down the field, and the Tigers, was it after the play? Did you see what happened there, Brett?
Some pretty weak after the play. Just back and forth, just a couple tiny shoves either way, but I guess they called Ben Lomond on that. Trying to stem things off early, I guess. So
DeVries looking downfield, overthrows Riley Hansen. That'll bring up 2nd and 10.
I don't want to minimize keeping the game under control. So
no, yeah, that's true.
Not a bad. I mean, it stinks for Ben Lomond, but not a bad penalty there.
That play was there for Hansen. If DeVries can just reel it in just a little bit, it was tight coverage there from the Scots, but the play was definitely there. Sweep to the left to Hansen. Hansen, we got a flag on the play, however, behind the action, and according to Patrick, that's going to be holding against the Tigers. So that'll bring that one back. So after the big penalty to kind of put the Tigers well into Ben Lomond territory, that's going to be brought back. Back and forth we go here to start the second half. Hey, high school football fans, for a full Friday night football roundup, pick up the Saturday edition of the Standard Examiner at over 200 locations across the valley. Also follow my boy Patrick Carr on Twitter at PatrickCarr_. And we have a false start against the Tigers, so what was a 2-15 is going to be a 3rd and 20. Ben Lomond has yet to stomp the Tigers tonight. This might be an opportunity for them to stop that trend and try to turn things around. Still hanging at the halftime score of 43-20, but this is the first drive for the Tigers in the second half. Bo DeVries in the gun, trips right. Dumps a short pass to Hansen. Hansen finds the left side. Can't quite get to the first down, but he's got a very manageable 3rd and 3 for the Tigers. I think, Patrick, it's kind of what we talked about at the top of the broadcast, that bubble screen to get those extra yards.
That is exactly right. But also, if you're looking at the right side of the field, they had the 3 receivers right there, and one of them ducked back as if the screen was going to materialize on that side of the field, and then boom, Hansen just ducks out from the O-line, 18 yards.
It's also got to be pretty deflating for Ben Lomond when you have a second. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't give him the extra down. So you have a. But yeah, going back to that, it was 2nd and 20 for the Tigers. Ben Lomond had to think that was their chance to get a stop, but after that play, and now a manageable 3rd and 3 for the Tigers. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more Iron Horse action right here on Standard.net.
If you want another stat, Gastelum has 3 catches, 90 yards, 2 TDs.
My gosh. That's efficient, son. Okay, I'm ready to come back. I'm sorry. Ready? Welcome back to Stewart Stadium. Iron Horse action. 3rd and short. Hansen has blockers and plenty of room. Cuts it inside. He's got room. Barrels his way into the end zone for another Ogden High score. Did not take long for the Tigers to turn a 2-20 situation into 6 points. Great job by the blockers there, and a nice cutback inside from Hansen. Then he's just got one guy to beat, and he barrels him over. Chase Butler trying to, Anthony Flores trying to make the stop there, but Hansen will not be denied. And the Tigers starting to get out of the reach of the Scots as they lead 49-20 here in the 3rd quarter. Point after makes it 50-20. Ben Lomond defense got to be scratching their heads after that one. But with a guy like Hansen doing what he's doing tonight, it's kind of tough to combat that, really. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, more Iron Horse action right here on Standard.net.
So why do teenagers play high school sports?
My reason why is a sense of purpose.
My reason why is to inspire others.
One reason student athletes seldom mention is to get an athletic scholarship. They know that only 2% of all high school athletes are awarded a sports scholarship. So why do they play?
My reason why is friendship.
Tell us your reason using the hashtag #MyReasonWhy.
This message presented by the NFHS and the Utah High School Activities Association.
Let's dance!
2018 winner of the Standard Examiner's Reader's Choice Award for car dealerships is now celebrating its 30th year of business. Tony Davino Toyota, open Monday through Saturday at 777 West Riverdale Road in Riverdale. The Ogden High Tigers are now a perfect 7 for 7 on drives, scoring on all of them, and they've all been touchdowns. Squib kick is still on the ground, but Ben Lomond's able to pick it up. On the return was Carlos Rosas, and the Scots will pick things up on their own 32-yard line. Now, as we talked about before, it seemed like the game plan offensively for the Scots is there. It's just a matter of discipline and execution and making sure you're doing your 111th.
We'll see how they respond here too. I mean, like we talked about, by no means has their offense been bad. They just, it's a lot to carry to keep up with this Ogden offense right now.
Guzman completes it to Pearson, who carries his way to a first down. Good way to start this this second drive of the second half for the Scots.
Big thumbs up right there.
Guzman trips left, one to the right. Caffel motions out to the right. Time, but batted down there by number 81, Jonah Lowry. 2nd and 10. Great job to contest that one as Ty Esquivel was certainly in position to make that catch.
Looked like kind of a timing issue there for Ben Lomond. Ball didn't get out quite quick enough to get there.
Caffel gets a good gain on the play to make third down a little more manageable for the Scots. Looking like it'll be 3rd and 4 for Ben Lomond.
Caffel's had a nice game. He's running hard still. Still plenty of time left. Still some positive things that Ben Lomond can do here and try and chip away at the deficit.
Cisco Cuevas with the tackle there for the Tigers. Here's Caffel again. What an incredible run there by Caffel. Really, I mean, not yardage-wise, it obviously wasn't very showy, but I mean, to be able to get the extra yardage like he did there was pretty impressive. Jumping over tacklers and doing what he can to get those extra few yards to get the Scots another first down. Guzman in the gun. He's got 2 receivers on each side. Caffel with him in the backfield. He'll drop and pass. Going deep. Open. Dropped. Stephon Watson, the intended receiver there, had it. Couldn't reel it in, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Those are those plays. That's what we've been talking about all night, where the play is there, just the execution is not. That would have been a huge play for Ben Lomond to get well into Tiger territory and try to chip into this 30-point deficit.
Watson checks himself out there with kind of holding his left hamstring a little bit after the play.
Guzman fakes the sweep, holds it, has a hole and some space. Still on his feet, he will get the first down and take the Scots to the 34-yard line, 33-yard line. Offense trying to keep the Scots alive, and they have done well so far in this drive. Guzman throws, caught again. Pearson on the right side gets a gain of about 5 on the play. That'll bring up 2nd and 5. Under 3 minutes left here in the third quarter. Guzman in the gun. Fakes the sweep to Caffel. Keeps it. We have a flag here on the sideline. And a great gain on the play for the Scots will put him close to the markers. However, we do have a flag close to the Tiger sideline. But looks like it was a sideline warning, not necessarily a flag. That will result in yardage either way. So no penalty really, but a sideline warning against Ogden. Caffel gets brought to the ground, but he'll get enough for the first down. 1st and 10 for the Scots on the Tiger 21.
It's a really nice drive by Ben Lomond here. Guzman's making some and Caffel both making some plays with their feet, reading the right holes. Just kind of a technical, methodical drive here to move close to the red zone, and we'll see if they can punch in their first points of the second half as the third quarter begins to wind down.
Guzman back to pass. Has time, has space, runs, finds the edge, gets the first down. And the Scots will have a 1st and goal on the 10. Great patience there from Guzman. He scrambles. He saw that he had plenty of turf in front of him to make the play. And the Scots are knocking on the Tigers' door. And that'll bring it right back with a false start there on the far side. Brady Walling will be flagged for the false start, and that's gonna make this a little tough because Ben Lomond obviously unable to get another first down with it being 1st and goal on the 10. Now it's going to be 1st and goal on the 15. So it's do or die in these next few downs for Ben Lomond. Guzman, 2 receivers on each side. Caffel with him in the backfield. Looks like the heat's coming. It will drop back. Pass intercepted! Jonah Lowry with the pick in the end zone thwarts what was otherwise an impressive drive from Ben Lomond, and the Tigers take it over deep in their own territory.
Just a great read from Lowry there, and of course, 2 sides to every play. A rough way for that Ben Lomond drive to end. A very good, promising drive. Looks like Lowry kind of had some edge contain in his zone and kind of read the pass, dropped back to the goal line, and grabbed that interception. So
the Tigers are now 7 of 7 in terms of scoring on their drives, but this is probably their longest drive, at least starting point for a drive tonight, as they start on their own 13-yard line. Hansen working his way up the middle. Gets a gain of 3 that time.
Because Region 11 does head-to-head, they don't do playing games. So no matter if Ogden and Tooele lose, it's 2 and 3.
2nd and 7 for the Tigers, deep in their own territory. And we get a false start against the Tigers to make this drive just a little more difficult. Second and 12 from their own 11.
As they set up for that second down, and just another thanks to our sponsor, Tony DeVino Toyota. TonyDeVinoToyota.com. They're celebrating their 30th year of business this year, and we appreciate their sponsorship tonight here on this Standard.net Iron Horse live stream.
DeVries rolls right. throws an incomplete pass, bringing up 3rd and long. And if you're Ben Lomond, you got to think this is your chance to get your first stop of the game and try to turn this thing around as the 3rd quarter comes to a close. 30-point deficit, though. That's a tough one to overcome in just a quarter.
Not sure we've seen this formation at Ogden quite yet. Oh. The running back steps out of the pistol and next to DeVries.
DeVries. Slant pass complete. Gastelum gets the first down and then some. Gets to the 31-yard line for the first down.
As you watch this play unfold, DeVries fits into kind of a tight window. He didn't have much margin for error on kind of a quick slant to Gastelum. So definitely a timing play from DeVries to Gastelum, and that's kind of typical of how they like to connect.
And that 20-yard reception, that gives Gastelum 110 yards on the night. He's got 4 catches for 110 and 2 TDs.
Got a couple of 100-yarders, both in the air and on the ground for Ogden. We got a timeout on the field. We'll take it with him when we come back. Just kidding. It's not a timeout. I'm an idiot. Don't worry about me. End of the 3rd quarter is what's happening. So when we come back, we will bring you more Iron Horse action. But before we go, check out Sunday edition of the Standard Examiner for a full recap of Weber State football, and follow Brett Hines' coverage of Weber State sports on Twitter at WeberHQ. We'll be right back with more Iron Horse action right here on Standard.net.
Let's dance!
Back to the action, and here we go. Hansen, or I'm sorry, no, that was Schob with a 2-yard gain there on the left side. To start the 4th quarter. If you're Ben Lomond, all you're thinking now is you got to get at least one stop against this team. You can't let them score on you every single time that they take the field. There are no moral victories, but there are.
I mean, Ogden's kind of come out and done, so we get that trap play to the inside. And the ball's out.
Hansen fumbles it.
Down.
And they give it back to Ben Lomond. Huge stop from the Scots. Gives Ben Lomond the ball in Tiger territory.
I was just going to say, the night for Ogden, they pretty much gotten what they wanted offensively with chunk yards on the ground and then big plays through the air.
That was he was not down when that ball came out.
Yeah, it looked like the ball was out, so a nice stop there from Ben Lomond, and now they've got a chance here with a 38-yard field to get on the board.
It's a big hill to climb, down 30 points, but if it's going to happen, that's the way that it has to start. First stop against the Tigers for Ben Lomond. They are 6 of 6. Now they're 6 of 7 on their drives against Ben Lomond.
7 of 8, I think.
7 of 8? Math is hard.
Math is hard.
Guzman scrambling. Gets a yard before he is brought down. They're actually going to give him no gain on the play. Thought maybe they would give him a little forward progress. I thought I saw the far official at the 37.
It almost looked like Chase Butler's assignment on that play was to spy Guzman. So he kind of followed him with the play and took him down.
Caffel up the middle. Gain of about 4 on the play. And they will mark him down 33. Before, at the 33, he got up and he maybe thought that he didn't hit the ground, and I put his hand down there, so that may have been where that came from. Where the first wow. I'm tripping all over myself.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm not having a stroke. We're good.
The effort's good there.
Yes, the effort there was good. Absolutely.
If you don't think you're down, you got to keep going.
So Weber State scored a touchdown like that a couple years ago. Zach Smith. Guzman to Kaffel. He gets the first down. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Scots on the 25. Scots playing with a little bit of life here as they trail by 30. Clock is certainly working against them, however. Guzman in the gun, back to pass. Plenty of time, but here comes the heat finally. He scrambles. Throws. Complete pass. He bobbled it for a second, but reeling in the ball was Giovanni Martinez. And the Scots have a 1st and goal, this one from the 4-yard line.
And Nick Guzman just gets out of trouble. He's just got nice presence in the pocket, escapes what looks like sure sacks several times tonight. And finally, Ben Lomond is in business again.
After a couple of dropped passes, it was good to see that one be reeled in if you're Ben Lomond. And a sweep. And diving for the touchdown. Will they give it to him? They didn't. The whistle it did! And here comes the Tigers on the other side!
Butler's down.
Jeff Orris with the return and a flag after the play.
And the reason that didn't go for 6 was Nick Guzman. He fought 2 or 3 tacklers to slow that thing down.
Looking at that replay, that was insane.
I'm not so sure that play should have continued.
It shouldn't have. He was down. There needed to be a whistle. He was either short of it, his knee was down before he broke the plane, or that's a touchdown. And I think he would have been down at the one is the right call, but instead, Ogden is taking it back. But it looks like the officials are going to talk this one over a little bit. Maybe just about the flag that came out late, because you can't really take it back after that. No play was made. Penalty going against Ogden, though. But it's still Ogden ball. That hurts if you're Ben Lomond. If you look at that film and you see that hurts. Because Kaffel was down.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any question about it.
That's a really rough non-call there. It happened right in front of the judge there, and I mean, like you said, his legs are down as he's reaching for the goal line. If he didn't get in the end zone, then he should have been down about half a yard short.
That's a tough break.
In a game like this, that's just a really, really tough call for Ben Lomond. And I don't personally think it was accurate.
I have to agree with you there, and I'm sure a lot of people do as well. Hansen on the left side. Cuts it up. Finally brought out of play at the 25-yard line for a 17-yard gain for a 1st down for the Tigers. Well, any momentum that Ben Lomond had after that turnover and then getting the 1st and goal in the 4 is all but gone.
Yeah, they took 2 drives this half. 2 are inside the 10 and came away with no points. That interception at the goal line and then that apparent fumble took away those chances.
DeVries hands it off to Hansen. Hansen cuts upfield for a nice gain on the play. Just short of the 1st down. They may give it to him, but no, it will be short of a yard short of the 1st down. 2nd and 1 for the Tigers as they knock on the door once again.
Well, what makes Hansen such a good runner is Patrick kind of alluded to this earlier, but he just kind of seems to know what his play is going to be. You know, whether he's going to have a hold a hit or on that one, he kind of patiently let the blocks right out to the sideline and then cut up right when the space was there. So just patient, smart running from Hansen, and obviously he can hit the holes and make tacklers miss as well.
False start against the Tigers. And Bo DeVries not happy about it as he spikes the ball in frustration. But you're up 30. So you got to be feeling good about things with 8:37 left in the game. Tony DeVino Toyota is proud to sponsor the live stream of the 2018 Iron Horse game. From top Toyota models like the Camry, Corolla, Tundra, and RAV4 to a do-it-right the first time service center and a Toyota auto parts store, visit Tony DeVino Toyota on Riverdale Road or TonyDeVinoToyota.com. Hansen on the run, finds a hole, gets up the line for the first down. First and 10 for the Tigers on the 15. Hansen has just been a workhorse for the Tigers tonight, amassing yard after yard after yard after yard. He's got to be getting close to 200.
He is.
And as confirmed by high school sports whiz kid Patrick Carr, that is indeed the case. Tigers looking to put this one well out of reach. Hansen gets met this time in the backfield, probably for one of the very few times for a loss. This time up for a yard. Scratch that 2 yards, so that'll bring up 2nd and 12 for the Tigers.
Interesting, I guess, aspect of this game is Ogden's had it under control, especially here in the second half, but as of yet, the running clock, continuous clock rule has not been in effect.
35.
That comes in at 35 points.
DeVries completes a screen pass to the big guy. Lamar Whited.
Now that's a play. Ogden sent in that play just to show him some love. Looked like they brought out kind of a tackle eligible type play and just wanted to get the ball in the hands of a big man. And a late flag comes out well after the play.
Looks like another one's just thrown. What the? Is this? It's against the Tigers.
So I think that's okay.
Penalties declined.
No, so 2 flags on the play. The first they call illegal touching, I think. So apparently the lineman they thought was eligible to receive a pass was not.
What the?
And it looks like they're walking off both penalties. So it's a 5-yard penalty against Ogden and then a 15-yard penalty unsportsmanlike flag against Ben Lomond.
Question mark?
That puts Ogden inside the 10. I guess they don't offset because one was a live ball foul and the other was a dead ball foul.
Gotcha.
That's my semi-expert analysis. Ogden's lined up to run a play, but the head official is over talking on the sideline to Coach Eric Thompson. So
that conversation. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say now he'll whistle us in and we'll be ready to go.
There we go. That conversation concludes, and we'll take a timeout, I guess. Looks like the head official will head over to the Ben Lomond side.
Perhaps some confusion about both penalties being enforced, I would guess.
Some explanation, I'm sure, yeah, about
Ben Lomond's Eric Alder.
I don't think he threw his headset down. I think it was just an accidental drop.
Did he just drop it? Okay.
I think he just dropped it. Usually if you're going to do that on purpose, there's a lot more emphasis going on.
Still does not appear to be happy about it, but, well, yeah, I won't editorialize his headset falling to the ground.
Right. So the clock ticks once again as Ben Lomond, as the Tigers try to extend their lead, which is already at 30 points as they lead 50-20. Incredible. Did he call it in? He didn't. Hansen. Incomplete is the pass. DeVries had him. Couldn't quite hang on to it all the way through. So that'll bring up 4th down for the Tigers. Can the Scots get 2 stops in a row?
So I just did a little arithmetic here, and Riley Hansen, well, stat update, has 25 carries for 217 yards and 4 touchdowns. So that's pretty, I don't know, I'd say that's pretty amazing. Bo DeVries is 10 of 12 for 214 yards and 3 touchdowns, unofficially, of course. Not a bad game. Irvin Gastelum, 4 catches, 110 yards, 2 scores.
That's wild.
And they come out of the huddle to go for it on 4th and 4.
Hansen has room, has blockers, gets met at the 1-yard line, but they'll have a fresh set of downs. 1st and goal for the Tigers on the 1. Looks like the gas tank might be running on a little bit on empty there for Hansen. He's had himself quite a night, and you really can't blame him. I mean, he had just about every Scot on him trying to prevent him from going into the end zone. But with a fresh set of downs, you got to think it won't be long before the Tigers score again. Hansen, touchdown. Riley Hansen, his 5th touchdown of the night.
Oh, we've got a flag down on the far side, well away from the play.
So hang on 1 minute. Did that come out afterwards?
I didn't see. I just saw the play happened on the near hash, so
it'll be against Ben Lomond, so that will be declined, I presume. And the touchdown will stand. So Hansen, 5 TDs on the night, amassing 220
something like that.
Something like
26,
that.
226.
226 yards of rushing. That's insane, folks. 5 touchdowns, 226 yards rushing. That's got to be a season high.
And what obviously feel some heartbreak for the Scots, but Ogden, what a nice way to cap their region season.
And that kick is short. Looks like maybe a Scot got a piece of it at the line of scrimmage, and the kick is no good. The Tigers lead it 56-20. The 2018 winner of the Standard Examiner's Reader's Choice Award for car dealerships is now celebrating its 30th year of business. Tony Divino Toyota, open Monday through Saturday at 777 West Riverdale Road. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you the last 6 minutes of the 66th Iron Horse right here at Stewart Stadium on Standard.net.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Utah, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Utah High School Activities Association and the Utah Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
We want to thank a lot of people for making this broadcast possible. Ogden School District for making all this happen. Weber State University for being a fantastic host. Bill Francis of Channel 17 for collaborating with the Standard Examiner on this production. The replays and everything, Scorebug, all them, and they've done a fantastic job to be able to provide this live stream of tonight's game. And also want to thank Tony Divino Toyota for sponsoring today's live stream. Fielded at the 20. Pearson has a big hole up the middle, cuts it back, and will be brought down to about the 35-yard line. I mean, he goes down to the 30, but they're going to give him progress to the 36. And here's Patrick Carr with some more juicy info.
Yeah, so like we were talking about earlier in the broadcast, Xander Kaffel has had a really good game. Unofficially, we've got him for 21 carries and 107 yards. It's just above 5 yards a carry. Guzman is 11 of 16 for 147 yards, a touchdown and a pick. 17 carries, 76 yards, 2 TDs. It's not a bad night.
Not at all. Pass completed. Great haul in there. Stephon Watson hauls that one in to get the Scots across half field. Now, since the Tigers are up by more than 35 points, we will have a running clock the rest of the way unless that score changes. Pearson, can't reel that one in. It would have been a great catch and a big gain, but instead it's incomplete. There's been a couple of those tonight for the Scots that I'm sure they're kicking themselves about.
Illegal shift on Ben Lomond, which Ogden declines. So yeah, I believe, we have the running clock here. I think the only time the rules allow the stoppage of the clock from here is when the losing team scores or teams call timeout. Until I think Ben Lomond has to narrow the gap to something like 21 points before the running clock is removed. So that will run here for the rest of the night.
Kaffel, small gain on the play. Again, the 2018 Iron Horse live stream brought to you by Tony DeVino Toyota. Celebrating 30 years of family-owned business. Shop Tony DeVino Toyota at 777 West Riverdale Road and at TonyDeVinoToyota.com. Did I do it? Guzman. Deep ball. Caught! Incredible catch there by Watson on the right side. Although it may be of little consequence, but a great play nonetheless. Look at this long bomb. Incredible. That's probably the play of the night for Ben Lomond to get them on the 10-yard line.
Really, really nice throw from Guzman there. And a nice play. He had time, nice blocking up front to let that develop, and he was able to wait just long enough for Watson to come free behind the defense.
Guzman in the gun. Hands it off to Kaffel. Kaffel bouncing off some defenders, and he will be marked at the 1-yard line for second and goal. He kind of learned his lesson from the last time that they were on this end of the field.
Yeah, looked like the ball might have come out again, but Ogden brought an edge blitz, and Ben Lomond was not passing, but ran it right up the middle, so they're on the doorstep.
Kaffel, touchdown. Ben Lomond scores. The clock will still run. It stops at 138, yes. So they're within the 35 points, obviously.
Well, the trailing team scores, and the clock stops until the following kickoff. But a nice answer, a nice way for Ben Lomond to wrap up this game. With the running clock, they didn't really have much time to put together a final drive, but that big pass play made that possible. So obviously, the final result is not going to be what Ben Lomond wants, but that's a nice way to finish the game for their offense.
Martinez hooks the ball left and misses the point after. Tigers hanging on to that 30-point lead and will be satisfied with that. 1:38 left on the clock, and really a solid performance from start to finish for the Tigers. Their offense was just unstoppable tonight. And obviously the scoreboard kind of tells the story, really. 56 points. Really only went. They only came up empty-handed on one drive so far tonight. Obviously this one might end without a score. Really, that's probably what should happen from a sportsmanlike perspective.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's about going to wrap it up. Just a couple more plays, but a nice way to end the region season for Ogden, who will finish in 3rd place in Region 11. They'll get to avoid Orem in the first round, most likely. They'll move to 6-3 on the year. There are still games after this next week with UEA weekend. Most teams are playing on Wednesday next week. So Ogden plays a non-region game against Bear River. That is at home, I believe, for Ogden. So they get one more home game for the fans against a scrappy Bear River team that's in every game it plays. And Ben Lomond, it looks like they'll travel up to Green Canyon to end their season next week, go up to North Logan and play the Wolves. I can't remember their name. The Timberwolves?
Logan?
They're those, no, Green Canyon.
I don't know.
They're the something Wolves. The colors are green and silver.
I'm only concerned with this game in front of us right now. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you anything else about. Especially not Logan.
But that's all to say that their Ben Lomond's season still isn't over. They still have one more chance to kind of break that slide and get in the win column. So Ogden lines up in the I formation to try and end this thing.
Shobe on the left side gets the first down, cuts it back to about midfield for a big run. Shobe looked like he wanted to score on that play.
Yeah, see, he wasn't. You know, he's a competitor just like any of them out there. He's not gonna go down just because the conservative play call is to try and milk this thing all the way out. But that'll about do it as we hit 1 minute remaining.
This is going to be the first time that Ogden will win back-to-back Iron Horse games in 5 years. And the victory chant coming from the student section. As we get to about 30 seconds left in this one.
DeVries directing traffic for the kneel down formation on this one, I believe. And there it is.
And there it is, and that will do it. Your final score tonight, the Ogden Tigers coming out on top of the 66th Iron Horse game. They win it 56-26 in an impressive victory to bring the trophy, or to keep the trophy in Ogden.
Ogden, like we talked about, they will they'll rightfully enjoy this victory, and so already some Ogden players and Ben Lomond players went out of their way just now to shake hands before the official handshake line. So some respect shown here at the end of a hard-fought game. But again, like Brandon mentioned, thank you to all of those who tuned in tonight to our live stream, and to all those who helped make it happen. We'll take a quick break, come right back, and wrap this thing up here on Standard.net.
Let's dance!
Welcome back to the post-game show here at Standard.net. 66th Iron Horse game results in an Ogden High 56-26 win over Ben Lomond to improve the all-time series to 48-22 in favor of Ogden all-time and 47-19 in the Iron Horse game. Brett, from the beginning, Ogden High would not be denied, especially Riley Hansen, who amassed almost 230 yards of total offense tonight for 5 touchdowns. And also you got Irving Gastelum, who also had a bunch of receptions and touchdowns as well for over 100 yards of passing offense. And really, Ben Lomond had no answer.
Yeah, it's one of those, you know, to Ben Lomond's credit, this isn't the first time that Ogden has done this to anybody. An efficient passing game with DeVries, finding Gastelum for big plays, and then Chase Butler and Riley Hansen, especially tonight. You know, just picking up, grinding out those yards, and there really wasn't much Ben Lomond could do to slow it down. And sometimes, you know, sometimes that happens. It's a lot of times football is a game of matchups, and like we said last week, Ben Lomond nearly beat a very good Stansbury team. So just kind of how that one played out tonight. And Ben Lomond's offense, they came to play too. They did a lot of positive things and stayed in the game, you know, into the third quarter. So a good showing for the Scots tonight. And you know, Nicholas Guzman, a terrific playmaker for the Scots.
Both with his arm and with his feet. And you have to imagine there were a lot of instances that could have gone either way. I mean, there was that fumble that probably should have been you know, a second and goal for the Scots on the one that turned into a big return for the Tigers, and a lot of dropped passes for Ben Lomond as well. Kind of didn't help them either. But obviously this Ben Lomond team is better than what their record indicates, and you know, as that losing streak continues, you can't help but think that that's going to break soon. So yeah, you kind of hope for that. You never want to see a losing streak last as long as this one has.
Yeah, you know, Ben Lomond, they do fall to 0-9 on the season. Like we said, they get one more shot at a win next week. Ogden improves to 6-3 this season, which just a few short years ago might have felt like a very tall task. So they improved to 3-2 in Region 11 with victories over Bonneville and Tooele, and now Ben Lomond. So with that, I think that just about does it here.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, want to give our thanks to Ogden School District, Weber State University, Bill Francis and Channel 17 for collaborating with the Standard Examiner to make this happen, and of course Tony Divino Toyota for sponsoring today's live stream. On behalf of our crew here and Brett Hine, I'm Brandon Garside saying thank you for tuning in to our coverage of the Iron Horse. We'll see you next time.
Yep.